We've had our PTMs online. We've sent our report cards online. So the teachers are in touch with the families over the video calls, over the chat calls, and also through the Skype, whatever medium the parent is comfortable with, whatever device the parent has. It can be as simple as a WhatsApp call, or as simple as a FaceTime or a Skype call. So we are in touch with the parents, because at the end of the day, it is not just disseminating the information about the classes or the digital classes to the parents, because parents also have to be handheld. All parents are not well educated parents who are aware of all the apps, or who are aware of all the digital mediums. So we had to educate the parents during the online PTMs as to how to download a software like Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Suite, and then how are we sending the work to the children in the form of the Google documents? How are we holding the classrooms? So every information had to be disseminated to the parents, and we have scheduled a full timetable for the children, which we have shared with the parents. Again, as I said earlier, we are doing all this, but with the promise to the parents that in case the children are not able to understand anything, or if they are not able to help the children, then we are going to repeat everything. But at the
Absolutely.
same time, I'm happy to share that all our children are in the classrooms and in the digital classrooms. I, as the head of the school, am able to walk into any class and see how it has been transacted. There is a lot of seriousness amongst the teachers here, because they are not just creating their own content, but they are also collating all that is available. And it's also good because, like, Amazon has made its reading program free for the next 2 months.
Right.
Similarly, there are many other, the comic websites have made their comics free for the next 2 months. So a lot of these digital people are also coming forward, and they are offering a lot of work for the children. Similarly, there are some mathematics apps that are given free to the schools right now. Zoom has given a 40 minutes class free all across the world. Microsoft Teams has made Microsoft Teams downloadable and free for everybody. So there is help coming out from all quarters right now. Neither the
Absolutely.
parents have to pay, nor the students have to pay. And still, the teachers have the choice of creating their own content and creating their own videos, and they are sending it across to the children. The parents are very supportive also, because they also make videos of the children doing yoga, they also make videos of the children doing some work, and then they
Absolutely.
send it back to us, which we also upload on our social media to encourage more and more people to do the similar kind of work. We
Absolutely.
have to engage the children. And I agree with Professor Pandey when he says that all of us have to innovate, and we have to think about our online classes also. It is important that the teacher teaches in the classroom. It is
Yes.
important that the children come to school, because it's not just for gaining the information or the knowledge that the children come to school. They get a lot of skills in the school. A lot of team building is done. A lot of collaboration is
Ma'am,
done in the
I'll
schools.
have to cut you there. We are running short of time. Let's go over to Professor Thangraj to ask that now we are totally dependent on telecommunication and our digital infrastructure. What steps should the government be taking in that regard?
Oh, okay. So I think I happen to be a professor of telecommunications area as well. So I think the government has done tremendously well in enabling communication infrastructure. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think 10 years back, we wouldn't have had a program like this. It wouldn't have been possible for people from their homes to comfortably connect through Skype and do this. So the backbone infrastructure is really, really good. And 5G is coming, and India is taking a big lead in 5G. And with 5G, I think even from your cell phones, you can do this and more. So I don't see infrastructure as a problem at all. I think equipment will become cheaper. I think 5G and other communications technology will pick up and deliver all those things very reliable.
Absolutely. Mr. Pandey, your views on the telecom and digital infrastructure and the steps government need to take?
Well, there are three major points which I have. One, now COVID-19 probably will give a lifeline to our telecommunication companies, which are very much under stress today because of the license fee issue. And they're not being able to buy they're not being able to buy those servers and machines and other, like for example, Huawei servers and all, which are required for implementation of 5G, and it has been delayed by almost like 2 years. The second major idea is that the entire expenditure of the government and of course state governments as well as all educational institutions now has to be relooked into. No longer do you want to create bigger classrooms, large mega-sized buildings. You need to now focus, if you want to educate, you need to focus on the digital infrastructure.
Absolutely.
And this digital infrastructure can be, instituted, and it can be, much less at a much lesser investment. Probably 10% of the investment of a large building, you can actually put up servers, and you can put up, broadband infrastructure. You can put fiber optic cables. I'll give you an example here. There's a company of the government called Common Services Center, and I work with that company also. It's called CHE Governance Services India Limited. We've got 350,000 common services centers across the country. And we have now tied up with this company to provide training to 50,000 rural Indians. This program will be rolled out from 1st of April despite COVID-19, because it will be done through digital infrastructure. Now the point is that we need to change the way we spend money on education. Now we only create content which can allow a young student, whether in rural or urban area, to analyze, evaluate and create.
Right.
The biggest point, the third point is, do not create now online material which promotes rote learning. Let the rural people, urban people, everyone learn that you got to learn differently.
Absolutely.
So these three major points, telecommunication companies, their health needs to be improved, government needs to support them so that we can have a 5G much earlier.
Mr. Pandey, I'm sorry, I'll have to cut you short. We are running out of time. Let's have the parting word from Dr. Upma Arora. We are talking about changing times, digital classrooms and better infrastructure for internet and telecommunication rather than big campuses, as Mr. Pandey pointed out. Ma'am, what are your final words before we wrap this show?
See, each and whatever the problem arises, let's equip our children, let's create a good infrastructure. Yes, whenever we'll be opening the schools, yes, we'll be creating much better infrastructure for information and technology, and we'll be training as a matter of fact, we are already teaching our children robotics and other things. So artificial intelligence, lot of things we had plans to introduce. We have already done it, and we'll more emphatically, we will be forcing them that yes, they are a part and parcel of our education system. We'll be training our children more information and technology so that our children are ready to face any brunt. Any moment this coronavirus has come, the Hanta virus and other, this biological war, I don't know when it is going to end. We'll be preparing the children, and we are still preparing. Yeah, we are preparing our children for future tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I hope our viewers have heard it from the top panelist in the education sector, who we had on a masterclass today. There's no need to panic. Let's prepare for the changing times, and it's only going to be better for the education industry. Thank you so much for being on our show, and thank you so much for viewing. It's time to wrap today's masterclass. News and updates continue on India Ahead.